All right, so you're prepping for a wood factory manager interview, and you want to just blow them away.
Yeah,
We've got a ton of great RoleCatcher resources to help you do just that.
we do.
Career guides, interview guides, and even some AI insights. So let's dive in and get you that dream job.
So I think one thing that's really fascinating is that, a lot of people, when they're prepping for an interview, just focus on the questions. But there's a whole world of, prep work that goes into understanding the industry and the role itself.
Absolutely.
And that's where RoleCatcher can be really, really helpful.
Okay, so before we even get to those interview questions, let's talk about the role itself.
Okay.
The wood factory manager.
Right.
The RoleCatcher Career Guide paints a really interesting picture of what this job actually entails.
It does.
So what stood out to you when you were looking through it?
Well, I think the sheer variety of responsibilities is what really struck me first.
Yeah.
You're not just overseeing production, you're also dipping your toes into purchasing, sales, even customer service and marketing.
Wow. It's like running a whole business.
It is, very much so. And you need to be, commercially savvy. You need to have a deep understanding of wood and timber and be a strong leader.
No pressure, right?
Right.
But speaking of pressure, let's talk about those interview questions.
Okay.
RoleCatcher's AI has identified some really common questions that you're likely to face in this type of interview, and I think we should break them down one by one.
Let's do it.
What's the first one?
Okay, so the classic, walk me through your experience in the wood industry.
Oh yeah, everyone's going to get that one.
Right, and it's really all about showcasing your passion and knowledge.
So it's more than just reciting your resume.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't want to just, list off your previous roles.
Yeah.
Think about specific projects or, challenges that you overcame and how your experiences really demonstrate those key skills we just talked about.
Right.
Leadership, commercial awareness, and expertise in wood.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
you're really painting a narrative of your career
Yeah.
and how each step has led you to this point where you're ready to be a wood factory manager.
Precisely.
I like it.
And this is where RoleCatcher's AI can be incredibly helpful.
Okay.
You can actually input your work history, and the AI will analyze it for you.
Oh, wow.
Identify key skills and accomplishments that align with, the specific requirements of this role. And it can even suggest ways to, rephrase your experiences to better resonate with the interviewer.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've nailed that first question.
Right.
You've given them this really captivating journey through your career in wood. What comes next?
Okay, so the interviewer might then dig a little deeper and ask something like, how do you ensure quality control in a wood factory?
Oh, the classic quality control question.
Yeah.
It seems pretty straightforward, but I bet there's more to it than meets the eye.
There is, you're right, the interviewer really wants to see that you have a system in place. Not just like a vague understanding of what quality control is. So talk about specific tools or technologies that you've used in the past.
Okay.
Maybe even mention inventory management systems or quality control checklists.
Right.
Show them that you're organized and detail-oriented.
So the RoleCatcher AI can also help us here.
Absolutely.
Like
It can provide you with examples of best practices for quality control in wood factories, and it can even tailor your answers to highlight the specific tools or methodologies that are most relevant to this particular company or role.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket
Exactly.
that knows exactly what this employer is looking for. Okay, so we've talked about your experience, your approach to quality control.
Yes.
What other kind of curveballs can they throw at us?
Okay, well, managing production schedules in a wood factory is a big one.
Right.
They might ask you something like, how do you handle competing priorities and ensure on-time delivery?
Okay, so this is where your organizational skills and your ability to think on your feet really come into play.
Exactly. Think about a time when you faced a particularly challenging production schedule.
Okay.
Maybe there were, unexpected delays or material shortages. How did you handle it? What strategies did you use to keep everything on track?
Right, and this is where that STAR method could come in really handy, right?
Yes.
Situation, task, action, result.
Yeah.
Tell the story, but highlight that positive outcome.
Exactly.
And what you learned from the experience.
Yeah, and RoleCatcher's AI can analyze your response.
Okay.
Make sure that you've hit all those key points.
Yeah.
And that you're presenting the situation in a way that really highlights your strengths. It can even suggest alternative ways to frame the situation.
Okay.
To emphasize different skills like problem solving or leadership.
So you're not just rehearsing an answer, you're really refining your storytelling skills.
Exactly.
and making sure that it resonates.
Yes.
This AI is pretty impressive. And speaking of impressive, we have to talk about safety.
Yes.
Because I think another question that might come up is, how do you ensure workplace safety in a wood factory?
Very important question.
It is, because wood factories can be dangerous places
They can.
if those safety protocols aren't followed really, really carefully.
Absolutely. And this is where you need to demonstrate not just your knowledge of, safety regulations,
Right.
but your commitment to really fostering a safety-first culture.
Yeah.
Talk about specific safety programs that you've implemented or been a part of,
Okay.
including training programs, risk assessments, regular equipment inspections.
So you're not just following the rules, you're actively creating a safe environment for everyone.
Precisely.
Like that.
And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can analyze your response.
Okay.
And make sure that you're hitting all those key points that are, most relevant to the wood industry and this specific role.
Mm-hmm.
It can even provide you with industry-specific safety statistics or best practices to kind of bolster your answer.
Okay, so we've covered experience, quality control, production schedules,
Yeah.
and safety.
Yes.
What other curveballs might they throw our way?
Okay, so a really common one is describe a time you had to resolve a conflict with an employee or team member.
Oh, the dreaded conflict resolution question.
Yes.
We all have these stories, but how do we choose the right one to share?
Right. So you want to choose a situation that demonstrates your ability to listen, to communicate effectively,
Mm-hmm.
and to find a solution that benefits everyone involved.
Okay.
And make sure it's relevant to the wood factory manager role.
Right.
Think about conflicts that might arise in a manufacturing environment, like disagreements about production methods or safety concerns.
Yeah, and focus on the positive outcome.
Yes.
How did you resolve that conflict, and what did you learn?
Exactly. And of course, RoleCatcher's AI can analyze your response,
Okay.
highlight areas where you can maybe strengthen your storytelling,
Okay.
and make sure that you're showcasing, the right skills,
Mm-hmm.
like empathy, active listening, and problem solving.
So it's not just about having the right story. It's about telling it in a way that really clicks.
Exactly.
This AI is starting to sound like a secret weapon for interview prep.
It can be.
All right, so let's move on to another question that I think is really challenging and really digs into those leadership skills.
Okay.
How do you motivate your team to meet production targets?
Yes. This is where those leadership skills really come into play.
Exactly.
The interviewer wants to see that you understand how to inspire and empower your team to achieve goals.
Mm-hmm.
So, think about your leadership style.
Yeah.
Are you collaborative? Are you results-oriented?
Right.
Do you believe in leading by example?
And how do you tailor that approach to different personalities and different motivations?
That's a great point. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to motivation. So share specific examples of how you've motivated individuals or teams in the past,
Okay.
highlighting the different strategies that you use.
And RoleCatcher AI can help us analyze that.
It can?
Make sure we're showcasing the right leadership skills.
Yeah, exactly. It can ensure that you're showcasing the qualities that are most valued in the wood industry and by this specific employer.
Mm-hmm.
And it can even suggest ways to rephrase your examples to better highlight your impact and effectiveness as a leader.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so another question that I think is really important in any kind of management role, but especially now, is how do you manage a team of employees with diverse skill sets and backgrounds?
That's a really important one, and it's all about showcasing your ability to create an inclusive and supportive work environment.
Yeah, because diversity and inclusion are more important than ever
They are.
in today's workplace.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we demonstrate that we're not just aware of that, but that we're actively, promoting that in our leadership style?
Think about specific instances where you fostered a culture of respect and inclusion. How do you ensure everyone feels valued and heard? Yeah. How do you leverage the unique strengths of each team member?
And how do you handle conflicts or misunderstandings that might arise because of those differences?
Yeah, those are all important considerations. And don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI can analyze your response and make sure you're hitting all the key points that demonstrate your commitment to diversity and inclusion.
So helpful. RoleCatcher has really thought of everything to help you nail this interview.
They've done a great job with this.
You really have.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the most important thing is to be yourself
Absolutely.
and let your passion for the wood industry really shine through.
Yeah, I think that's key.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground
We have.
in this first part of our deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about the role itself, and we've tackled some really tough interview questions.
Yes.
all with the help of RoleCatcher's amazing AI.
It's a fantastic tool.
But we're not done yet.
Not even close.
We got more questions to unpack and more insights to uncover.
Stay tuned.
All right, we'll be right back.
Welcome back. We've already covered so much ground getting ready for this interview.
I know. I feel like I'm already learning so much.
Me too. It's been great. Yeah.
So let's keep going.
Okay.
Let's talk about this question. How do you manage costs in a wood factory while ensuring quality?
Oh, that's a tough one.
It is. It's a classic balancing act that any good wood factory manager needs to master.
Yeah, you can't just, slash costs and then sacrifice the quality.
Right.
But at the same time, you've got to be mindful of that bottom line.
Exactly. The interviewer wants to see that you understand that cost management and quality aren't mutually exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
They're two sides of the same coin.
I like that. Okay, so how do we approach this question without sounding like, we're either a penny pincher or someone who just throws money at every problem?
Right. Well, think about specific examples from your past experience
Right.
where you've successfully reduced costs without compromising quality.
Okay.
Maybe you streamlined a production process, or you negotiated better prices with suppliers, or maybe you implemented a lean manufacturing approach.
Okay, and I bet RoleCatcher's AI can help us, analyze our experiences and pick out the best examples to use. Absolutely. It can also provide you with industry-specific benchmarks and best practices for cost management in wood factories.
So we can show that we really know what we're talking about.
Exactly. You're not just guessing. You're knowledgeable.
This AI is really like a secret weapon.
It's a powerful tool.
It is. It's like having a whole team of experts helping us prep.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit and talk about a question that I think really lets you showcase your passion for this industry.
Okay.
How do you stay up to date with industry trends and new technologies?
Oh, I love this question. This is your chance to really show the interviewer that you're not just content with the status quo. You're constantly learning and evolving just like the industry itself.
So it's got to be more than just, I read industry magazines, right?
Exactly. Think about specific conferences you've attended, courses that you've taken, or even, online forums or communities where you engage with other professionals. Maybe you've even experimented with new technologies in your past roles.
Right. And RoleCatcher can help us here too.
Right. Absolutely. It can provide you with a curated list of industry resources conferences.
Okay.
And even, emerging technologies that are relevant to this specific role.
Awesome.
It can also analyze your responses and suggest ways to connect your learning experiences to the company's specific needs and goals.
Okay, so we've talked about cost management, staying up to date, but there's one more question that I think is so crucial for anyone who wants to be a wood factory manager.
Okay, what's that?
And that is, how do you prioritize tasks and manage time effectively?
Oh, that's a big one.
It is, because it's a universal challenge for managers, but I feel like in a fast-paced manufacturing environment, it's even more important.
You're right. They want to see that you're organized, efficient, and able to juggle multiple priorities without dropping the ball.
So again, it's more than just, I make to-do lists, right?
Exactly. Talk about specific time management techniques that you use.
Okay.
Like the Eisenhower matrix or time blocking. Maybe you use a project management software or have a system for delegating tasks effectively.
Right. And it's not just about being busy. It's about being productive.
Exactly.
So share some examples of how you've successfully managed a complex project or met a tight deadline while keeping that high level of quality.
Right. And RoleCatcher's AI can, analyze your response.
Okay.
Make sure that you're highlighting the time management skills that are most relevant to, the wood industry in this role.
I love it. Okay, so we've covered a ton of interview questions so far.
We have.
We've seen how RoleCatcher's AI can really help us prep those answers and make them amazing.
Yeah.
But I want to zoom out a little bit and talk about the bigger picture.
Okay.
So what are some of the key insights from the RoleCatcher Career Guide that can really help us understand this industry and set ourselves up for success?
Well, one of the most interesting things that stood out to me was the emphasis on sustainability.
Okay.
The wood industry is facing increasing pressure to adopt environmentally responsible practices.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And this is where your knowledge of certifications like FSC or PEFC can really set you apart.
Right. Show them that you understand sustainable sourcing and, responsible manufacturing practices.
Exactly. And this kind of ties into another important trend.
Oh, it's that?
The rise of mass timber construction.
Oh, yeah. Been hearing about that.
It's a rapidly growing sector that's creating new opportunities for wood manufacturers who are able to, meet the demand for sustainable building materials.
So if we can show that we know a little bit about mass timber and its applications, that's a huge plus.
Absolutely, especially if the company you're interviewing with is involved in this space.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. And speaking of opportunities, the career guide also highlights the strong growth potential for wood factory managers.
Well, that's great.
With experience and continued learning, you can advance to roles like production manager or even general manager.
I love to hear that, there's room for growth in this field.
Absolutely. And don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI can help you identify those skills and certifications.
Right. What you need to pursue to achieve your career goals.
It really can do it all.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, this AI is really a game changer for anyone who wants to, build a career in the wood industry.
I think so, too.
It's like having a personal career advisor right in your pocket.
Absolutely. But remember, it's up to you to put in the work and make the most of the opportunities that are out there.
Well said. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this second part of our deep dive.
We have.
We've explored those key industry insights, learned about growth opportunities, and seen how RoleCatcher can really help us position ourselves for success.
I think we're in great shape.
I think so, too. But there's still more to come.
Stay tuned.
We're back for the final part of our deep dive into the wood factory manager interview.
And we've saved some of the best for last.
Okay. I'm excited. What else can we do to really impress these interviewers?
Well, we've talked a lot about specific questions and how RoleCatcher can help you really, craft amazing answers.
But there's another aspect of the interview that's equally important.
Right.
And that's your overall presentation.
Oh, you mean like how we dress, how we act?
Exactly. You want to project confidence, professionalism, and enthusiasm.
Okay.
Dress appropriately for the company culture.
Right.
Make eye contact, smile, engage with the interviewers authentically.
So it's not just what you say, it's how you say it.
Precisely.
Okay.
And here's a pro tip.
Okay.
Practice your answers out loud beforehand.
Okay.
It might sound silly,
right,
but hearing yourself speak can help you identify any awkward phrasing or areas where you need to elaborate.
That's a good tip. And RoleCatcher's AI can also analyze our delivery. Right?
It can.
Like, can it tell if our tone of voice is off or if we're making weird facial expressions?
Absolutely. The AI can provide feedback on your pacing, your clarity.
Wow.
And even your body language during video practice sessions.
That's incredible.
It's like having a personal coach helping you refine those presentation skills.
Okay, so we've got our answers polished, our deliveries perfected. We're dressed to impress.
Yes.
What else should we keep in mind as we're heading into that interview room?
One crucial thing to remember is that an interview is a two-way street.
Okay.
You're not just there to answer their questions, you're also there to assess if this company is the right fit for you.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to ask questions.
Absolutely. Prepare some thoughtful questions beforehand that demonstrate your interest in the company, the role, and the industry.
Like what kind of questions?
Well, you could ask about their sustainability initiatives, their plans for growth and innovation, or even the specific challenges and opportunities facing the wood factory manager.
So we're not just getting information, we're also showing them that we're engaged.
Exactly. It can really set you apart from other candidates.
I like it.
Now, before we wrap up, let's revisit one last piece of advice from the RoleCatcher Career Guide.
Okay.
Continuous learning.
Yeah, we touched on this a little bit earlier.
We did. But it's worth emphasizing again.
It is.
This industry is constantly evolving. So staying ahead of the curve is essential for long-term success.
So what are some ways that we can keep learning and growing?
Attending industry conferences, reading trade publications, pursuing certifications like the Certified Wood Professional, or even taking online courses.
And I'm sure RoleCatcher can point us in the right direction there.
Absolutely. It can help you identify the most relevant learning opportunities based on your career goals.
So helpful.
It can also track your progress and recommend resources to fill any knowledge gaps.
This AI really is like a career companion.
It is. It's there every step of the way.
I think we've covered everything we need to know to rock this wood factory manager interview.
I think so too. Just remember, be prepared. Be confident and be passionate. Let your enthusiasm for this industry really shine through.
Yes.
And don't be afraid to showcase your unique skills and experiences.
And of course, use RoleCatcher.
Yes.
All those AI-powered tools and insights are amazing.
They can give you a real edge.
Okay, well, this has been such an incredible deep dive.
It has.
I feel like I've learned so much about the wood industry.
Me too.
The role, and most importantly, how to really nail that interview.
You ready?
I think so. And you know what? This is just the beginning.
It is.
The wood industry has so many opportunities out there.
It does.
So go out there and make your mark.
Good luck.